Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video we are going to build a shopping cart app and the state of the app will be managed using Provider. The playlist has been designed in such a way that we will go from beginner to advanced, and every next video will focus on some advanced state management stuff. So in the previous video we built a counter app where we manage the state of the app using Provider. It was just a simple counter and we had only one screen, and the state management there was easy because you just need to listen to changes on just one screen. But here the scenario is different. We have the root widget, which is the app itself. Then we have two screens here. One is my catalog and the other is my cart. So my catalog will contain all the items we have in our app for shopping. Here we also have the app bar widget, and then we have the list of items. Then we have another screen, my cart, that will contain all the items that we have added to cart from the my catalog screen. So what we are going to do, we will have to manage the state in such a way that all the items that are added to cart on the my catalog screen needs to be presented here on the my cart as well. They needs to be reflected here as well, which is the main challenge we are facing. So how can we do it? We can do it like if we somehow keep our provider widget here in the root app, so that if there are some changes here, so the changes move to my app and then my cart can also see the changes, or we put the provider here so that if there are any changes in provider, so the provider is at the top, so it can also be listened in my cart as well. So we need to put provider widget somewhere at the top so that any changes done on my catalog screen are also can also be listened on the my cart side as well. So that's what we are going to do in this video. So for that, let's go to the VS Code. Let's fire up the terminal. I have created a basic template. So let's go to the template. First of all, I have the main file where I have added my widget, which is shopping cart app. By default it is my app widget, but I have made it shopping cart app. And here what we are doing, we have the material app, which is basically the basic widget of our app, and I have made it to false. I don't want to see the banner here. It irritates me. I don't know, it irritates you as well, but it irritates me, so I've removed it. Okay, and then I have the home, and in the home I am presenting the catalog screen. So my first page of the app will be the catalog screen. Okay, so let's go to catalog screen. Here I've created a stateless widget. We have a scaffold here and an app bar with background color set to primary color. What is this primary color? I have created a file here which is known as constants, and here I have created this color. It is very useful to store these constants somewhere, because if I'm going to change this color in the future, so I will just have to change this in one place, and the whole app, all the places where the color is used in app are going to be changed as well. So I will need to change only this primary constant. Okay, and if I hard code everywhere, then I will have to change the color everywhere. So it is a single point to change the color if I want to change in the future. So it is very useful. Also we have the card screen as well, where also I have only the app bar with the primary color set, and we will add our code here in the body. So we have the catalog screen, we have the card screen, we have items. So let's come to the item model. Here we have this model class. It contains the name, price and color of the item. So it is the model class that will represent an item or product. Constants, and we have the card provider. Here we will implement our provider, which extends the chain notifier. As you know, chain notifier allows different components to listen to it. So that's why we are extending it, and it gives us a functionality, the needed one. Okay, so now here we have the item list. The item list, basically these are all the products that I have created. These products will be shown on the my catalog screen. Now that we have gone through the basic setup, let's move toward building the main UI of our app. So I will go to this card screen, also navigate to debug console for logging. Okay, and now here in the app bar I will add title, add the text widget here, and it will be like catalog. Okay, I will also want to make it in the center, so set center title to true. I also want to add an shopping cart icon here, so I will use the actions property. Here I can pass the icon in the list, and this is going to be icons dot shopping cart. So here I will select the shopping cart. Okay, also I would want to add a bit of spacing from the right, so let's give it a bit of offset. I will give the size box. Here we will set the width to 15, and now you can see it's looking good. Now I also want to add a gesture detector or an inkwell here to listen to tab functionalities, and I will navigate to other screen when the icon is tapped. So I will add an inkwell here. So that's an inkwell here, and on tab, what's it going to do? It will navigate to the cart screen. Here I have this cart screen. Whenever the shopping cart item is tapped, I want to navigate to that cart screen, so I will use the navigator API here, navigator dot push, and here I will pass the material page route. Here there's a mistake. Okay, so remove this. So we have material page route, and what's going to do? It's going to be returning the cart screen. Okay, so now whenever I tap on this shopping cart, it will move me to the it will navigate me to the cart screen. Okay, let's come back and now focus on building the body part. Here we will use the list view dot builder to build our list of items here. Here the item builder will return list style. In list style we are going to be giving the title using the text widget, and for now let's give it a title of bag. I will also give the subtitle will be presenting the price. Okay, so let's give it a price of $10. I will use backslash dollar because dollar, if not used after backslash, is basically known by compiler for a string interpolation, so that's why I will use backslash here. So we have this $10 here. Now I also want to add a small container here using the leading property, and what the container will do, it will just present a small square with a height of 50 and a width of 50, and we will also set the color using decoration property. Here we'll use box decoration, and we'll set the color to primary color. Okay, I will remove this const here because for content we need to remove this. Now we have this item. I also want to add a button here at the right of each item that will add the item to the cart, so I can use trailing, and here I will use the elevated button property. On pressed will be passed a callback. Okay, for now the callback doesn't have anything. Here in the child we will pass the text, and it will have the text add. Okay, I also want to give it some styling, which I will do using the style property, and I will use here elevated button dot style from, and here we'll set a background property, background color to primary color. Okay, now we have built our list of items on the catalog screen. Okay, I also want to build the same on the cart screen, because cart screen will also be presenting a list of items that have been added to the cart. Okay, so let's go to the cart screen. Here I also want to add this title using the text widget. It will be cart, and center title should be true. Okay, we have this cart here, and it will also present this list view dot builder. Okay, so let's go back to that catalog screen, and here I will copy this thing, but firstly we have this widget list style. I will make it custom widget, so I will extract this widget and will name it item widget. Now we have this. Let's put it in a separate file. Okay, the file will be known as widgets dot. Okay, it will store all our custom widgets. Here we will import that material library and also this primary color constant file. Okay, now we can use it, we can import in any file. Here we have used this item widget in the catalog screen. Also we will want to add it here, so let's build a list view dot builder here as well, because it will also be showing list. It needs a property item builder, and it will be returning that item widget as well. Okay, now you can see we have this. Okay, go back to this catalog screen. Here we have these items, and on the cart we also have these items. Okay, here in at the bottom I want to present a button, so I want to reserve some space for a button, and that button will be showing the whole price of the all the items in the cart. It will be the cumulative price of the all the items in the cart. Okay, so how I will be achieving this, I will wrap this with a container. Okay, and here I will separate these two, the list and the button, by size box by giving the height of 10, or it will be 20. Down there I will use the elevated button widget to build the button. On pressed will be pass nothing for now, but we will pass here the text, and the text is going to be what you can say, buy these items. I will also be showing this dollar and the price here. Let's say the complete price is 100, so I've used it. The list disappeared because list view has unbounded height, while column has bounded. Column takes the screen size or all the available vertically, but list view takes an unbounded height. So we are going to wrap it in the expanded widget, so that it takes all the available space and it fits itself in the available space. Okay, now you can see we have it here, and we can scroll it. Okay, so we can scroll it, and we now have space for this button as well. I will style it using the elevated I will use the style property to give it some styling, and there's going to be elevated button dot style from property, and I'll be setting background color to primary color. Okay, so we have this now. I can add a size box here as well to give it a bit spacing from the bottom, and we'll give it a height of 200. What went wrong? Okay, so I've given it 200, so 20 is enough. Okay, so now we have built our card screen as well as our catalog screen. Now we will focus on managing the stat of the app. So let's come to this item model that we have created for an item. It represents an individual item. We have the name, we have the price, we have the color for the item. Okay, so we need a list of these items to be represented on this catalog screen that are available for shopping. So here I have this item list. I have these items that I'm going to present from the catalog screen. So for that I will create a list of item model. Okay, and this is going to be called as catalog. Okay, this item needs to be imported, so let me import this. Now I will add all those items that I have made ready for this app. Okay, so for color we need to import the material library. Okay, we have this catalog, let's make it final. Okay, now we have our items ready. We need to present it on this screen. Okay, so here item count basically it takes an integer. We basically pass the length of list here, so that the items are presented on the screen according to the list length. So we have the catalog with us, and we will pass its length here. Okay, so now we don't have infinite items, but we have all those items that are there in the catalog, but we have just passed the length, we haven't passed the items basically. So the number is same as catalog list length, but we need to pass these items as well that represent the catalog list. Okay, so here in the item widget, what I'm going to do, I will pass an item property. Okay, item, let's import its model here, and it's going to be required, and we will pass it here, the item. Okay, now here in the card screen and the catalog screen, we will pass that item in the widget. So it gives us the index, the list item builder gives us the index, so we will use that list, which is first of all, let's use the property item. Here we will use the list catalog, and we will pass the index given by this item builder. Okay, to pass every item one by one using this index to the list view dot builder. Okay, and now we have passed the item in the item widget. Okay, we just need to present this here, the value should be presented here. Okay, so here we have the bag, we have this item, we can utilize its property, that is item dot name, and this name is going to be shown here. Now also we can utilize the price property of item as well. So use item dot price. Okay, it will be presented here with the dollar. Also we also want to show the color here, the item color. As you know, here we also have a color property in the item, so I will use item dot color here. Okay, now if I restart the app, you can, okay, we have a problem here. We are using this item widget here as well, so we need to pass an item here as well. So for now we will just pass a dummy item here. Name will be set to name, and the price is going to be set to 12, and the colors will be primary color. Okay, now you can see on the catalog screen we have all the items fetched from our catalog list here, and the different colors are being fetched, the different titles, the prices. Okay, so we have built our catalog screen, okay, with the data we have used, the catalog list. Okay, we have the cart screen as well, but when we add the items to the cart, then we are going to be we will be presenting it on the cart screen. Now it's time for the main part, which is state management. I have created a file known as cart provider here. Our provider resides here. Okay, how do we manage state using provider? Firstly, we create the provider. Provider is a class that allows listening to state. Then we have the product provider widget that needs to be placed above the widget that accesses the state. Okay, then we use the consumer widget in case we want to listen to changes to the state in the provider. Okay, so that's how we do provider state management. So here let's create a provider first. I will add here a list of items for cart items. Okay, I will name it cart items. It will be an empty list. I will call it cart items. Also, I want to make it private, so I will add underscore here. It won't be accessible directly. I will create a getter for it. I will create unmodifiable list view. Unmodified list view gives you a view of the list, okay, that can not be modified. So we don't want this cart items to be modified from outside the provider. So here I will use a getter. That getter will give us the cart items. Okay, it's gonna be returning the cart items. Okay, so we don't want to access it directly. Okay, it's giving error because it is unmodified list view and it is a list of items. So sorry, I will pass it in a constructor of unmodifiable list view. Okay, so the unmodified list view is gonna transform this list of cart items into just a list view or view of list. It is not the scrollable list view. It means it gives you a look of that list, but you can modify it. Okay, so that's what we are going to be accessing. It's a good approach. Okay, then we will have a function for adding item. Okay, what this function will accept, it will take item. Okay, and we'll add this item to the cart items. Okay, so what we're going to do, cart items dot add, and we will add this item. We will call the notify listener, so that any listeners present on the UI side can listen to it, and the changes are reflected. It doesn't return anything, so I'll create it void. Also copy these to create another function which is reset. It's gonna reset our cart. Okay, so cart item dot clear. Okay, so these two functions, it will add item to our cart and the other will reset our cart. Okay, reset cart. So we have created our provider. What we have here, we have a list that stores our cart items, and then we have an unmodifiable list view that gives us access to cart items, but we can modify it. We can just use it on the front end, but we can modify it. Then we have the add item, which adds an item to cart and it resets our cart list. Okay, also we want to get the cumulative price of all the items in the cart. So for that, what we are going to do, we will be creating a getter, because we don't want any direct access from outside the provider. So for that, we will create a getter with return type of double, and it will be a getter. The name will be price. It's going to be returning the cart items. It will iterate to the cart items and it will add the price of all the items and return it. How we are going to do it? We can use the fold property. Here we can set the initial value, which is 0.0, and here the element gives us access to individual item in the cart items. So using this element, we can what we can achieve, we can add all the prices, element dot price, and we are going to be adding it to the previous value. Okay, previous value is what will be returned in the end. Okay, so what we are going to do here, it basically iterates over each element and adds its price to the previous value. So it will go from 0 to it will increment, other values will be added to it, each element will add some value to it, and in the end we will be returned with the cumulative price of all the items. Okay, so that's how we do it, and it will return us double. We can specify the type to double as well. Okay, so now we have created a provider, we have set all our properties. Let's remove this. Now we have set the provider. We just need to access it in the front end now. Okay, so firstly I would like to access it on the cart screen. Okay, so let's move to the cart screen, and on the cart screen here we will fetch these items from the cart. Okay, but before that I would like to add the functionality of add here in the catalog screen. Okay, so here item widget we have, we can also pass on press functionality here, or we can go to just item widget, and here what we can do, we can access the provider. But for that we need to create a provider widget above this widget. So for that what we can do, as in the solution, we decide that it's going to be placed above both screens in order to listen to the changes from both the screens. If we put it above my catalog screen, then the changes will be only listened here and my cart won't be able to access it. So we will place it here so that the changes are reflected on both the screens. Okay, so let's come here, and what I will do is I will go to the main file and I will create the provider widget above this material app. So I will wrap it in a widget. It will be change notifier provider, and it comes from the provider package. I've added it in the prospect.yaml file. You can add it as well. Here we have the provider. Okay, come to main again. We are going to create an instance of that provider now, which is card provider. Okay, so now we have created a provider widget at the top, and now we can listen the changes on both the screens. Okay, if we have created it in this catalog screen here above this scaffold, then the changes will be reflected only on the catalog screen and not on the card screen. Okay, so we keep it above both the screens in order to listen to changes on both screens. Okay, so now it's accessible in both screens. Here I would like to access in the item widget. Okay, here I would like to create a provider object that will be accessing the provider using the .op constructor. We will pass context and we will set listen to false, because we are not listening here, we are just calling some, we will just be calling some functions here. Okay, and it will have the type of card provider. Okay, so now we have the add item functionality that we can use here. Okay, so this function will be calling provider dot add item, and item will be passed this one. Okay, so it is calling the add item from the provider. Okay, here we don't want to listen to changes, we just want to add items here to the cart. So we don't need a consumer widget here. Consumer is used when you want to listen to changes. Okay, so here we have this. If you press on add now, it can be added to the cart. Okay, and for that we can use some logging here. If item is added, I want to log here item is added. Okay, so I will use the log, and here I can add some text like item added. So if I will restart the app because we have added that provider above the material app. Now if I want I press add here, so it should be logged here. It is not working. Let's press add again. Yes, it's working. We have added a item. Okay, so that's how we add item to this cart items list. Okay, now we can add items from here, from the catalog screen. I want to see these items here in the cart. Okay, so I will go to that cart screen here. Here I will need a consumer because I will be listening to changes. Okay, I will be getting the items here. Okay, so what I am going to do, I will wrap this column widget inside a consumer. Okay, it has a builder property, and that builder basically returns the our widget, which is the column. But here, let's get this column and return it here. We don't need this child property. Okay, but here in the consumer we have this value. This is basically our provider, but we will also specify the card provider here. Okay, now we have this card provider, we can use it. And if there are any changes on the provider side, if an item is added, so the changes are going to be reflected here in the consumer widget. Okay, and we have this list on the card screen inside our consumer, so we can listen to changes here. Our item count is going to be with provider we can access the list, that unmodifiable list, which is items, sorry, cart items. Okay, and we will pass the length here. Okay, so we have added only one item to the cart previously, so it is showing only one. We can also access that item. Okay, so we will pass the item from the provider. Now it's going to be provider dot cart items, on the index will be passed to it, and we now got the what you can say, the real item here in the cart. Okay, if we go back here, I want to add bat, item added, sneakers added, fish added. If I go to catalog screen, so the changes here are reflected on the cart screen as well. Okay, so but I want to remove this add from here. So what I'm going to, I will pass a flag in the widget. Okay, what this flag is going to be, it's going to be a boolean that will show is cart item. Okay, if this is set to true, then we won't show that button which is add. Okay, so if it is true, then this button shouldn't be shown. Okay, is cart item, then we don't want to show this button, I'll pass null here. Okay, so going back here in the cart screen, I will add this value. I will pass this thing which is here, item widget is cart item, which is carton. It's not showing. Let's restart our app so that changes are reflected here. So here we have, why can't we see this thing, item widget. Okay, we haven't passed it here. We have passed it in the item widget. We have two widgets files. Okay, sorry, we have two different widget files. So here I will remove this one because I have already used one, so I won't use this one. Okay, just remove this one and remove it from here as well. Delete, move to trash. Okay, here we have this. Here I will pass the boolean flag final bool, and this is the is cart item. Okay, so here we will make it required so that it is taken, or we don't need to make it required. By default it's going to be false, so this will be is cart item, and this dot is cart item, and default it will be passed a false value. Okay, so what we are going to do now, we are going to pass it true on the card screen. And if we navigate to card screen, it won't show us the what do you say, the buttons. It is not showing anything because we haven't added anything to the cart. Let's add some chocolates, bag, sneakers to the cart, and let's move to the cart now, and we can see we still have this add button because we have passed the boolean but we haven't used it. Okay, so if we have this cart boolean flag set, so what we can do, we don't want to show anything, so it will be null. Okay, is cart item, we have passed it, it is nullable, we don't need it nullable here. Okay, so now if we go to the card screen, we won't be seeing the add button. Okay, and now we want this price to be fetched from the provider. Okay, so what we can do, we can go to card screen. Here at the bottom we have this, so we can fetch this value from the provider as well. Okay, so we will use provider dot price. Okay, so we will get the exact price here now, which is 200, and you can see here we have 10, 100, 90, and it's 200. Okay, so we have managed the state of a shopping cart app properly. That's how we manage a state in provider. And just to give you a look of the main challenge that we have completed, or we have solved, is that if you the provider that we have created in the main file, here we have this change notifier provider. Okay, if I remove it from here, then and you can see the main problem comes when also remove this. Okay, what do we need here? Okay, and then we have, okay, I've removed the provider here, and it gives you that we haven't find the provider because we haven't specified a provider widget. If I specify it in the catalog screen here, and I created here rapid widget, and it's going to be change notifier provider, and we can create it, we will pass card provider. Okay, so you can see we have the catalog screen, and we can do everything here in the catalog screen. Like if I add, item has been added, but if I move to the card screen, it's giving an error. It's because we have created the chain notifier provider or provider widget here, which is above this catalog screen. So it is accessible only the catalog screen, it is not accessible in the card screen. Okay, so to make it because the catalog screen and card screen are on the same level, and we need to create that provider widget above both so that it can be accessible in both. Here what we have done, we have created it in the catalog screen, okay, or just above the catalog screen, so it is not accessible on the same level. We need to define it at the top, so remove it from here, and now we can again define it in the main. If we define it in the main file and it is card provider, then we don't have an issue. If we add some changes here, these are going to be reflected in the card screen. Okay, and the price is here. On tap you can set your functionality, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in the next video. In the next video I will be building something more advanced than that, and I will be teaching you the provider state management from beginner to advanced. So stay tuned for the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.